Hello everybody. Welcome to the January 2020 collection update video. We're going to be changing it up a little bit for just this month. I'm actually going to go back to my old style of videos where all of the collections are in one video because it's a pretty small amount of stuff that I got. There's actually no Blu-rays or DVDs. There's only like 3 CDs. There's a bit of video game stuff, but that's what most of the people watch anyway, so I figured I could just combine everything. I will explain why I decided to do that and why I'm doing it so soon instead of waiting a couple months at the end of the video. But Crystal is here.
Hey, what's up?
So, like I said, we have quite a bit of video game stuff and like 3 CDs, no Blu-rays or DVDs. I'm going to start with the CDs because Crystal's not going to really have much to say about them. She never does. That's why she's never in the separate CD collection videos. The 3 CDs here are all the same band. I actually got these CDs from the promoter and founder of Prog Power USA. I bought them from him, or I won them, I guess. It's a band that I've wanted to get more CDs of for quite some time. I have 3 of them already, or I had 3 of them already. I got 2 of them at Prog Power and the other one at a used CD store. But a lot of their earlier stuff is like out of print and harder to find. So I spent the money, the bunch or the bundle that I got came with the 2 CDs I already had, plus a single CD which I'd never had before, but it had a bunch of songs that are already on albums. But it came with 3 of their albums that I didn't have. And that band is Vanden Plas. I got 3 of their albums. I got their first album, Color Temple, right here. Then their second album, The God Thing, and then this is their 4th album here, Beyond Daylight. I got all 3 of them. We'll go ahead and go in order, and I'll talk a little bit about each of them. The first one here, Color Temple, is their first album. They hadn't quite gotten their the mix together and their style down. This does sound really 80s influenced. It's not bad. It is far from their best, but songs on here that I like. The first track, Father, the 3rd track, When the Wind Blows, the 5th track, Soul Survives, the 7th track, Judas, and the 10th track, Fire, which is technically a bonus track. Pretty good. Definitely not my favorite of theirs, but still really cool to have an out-of-print CD or a harder-to-find CD. And then their second album is also really hard to find, The God Thing. This album, musically, they started to get more towards their more modern sound, but I don't know what it was about the vocalist at this time. He just didn't have his singing style down completely, so I'd actually even say this album is slightly worse. But songs in here I like. It's going to be complicated because the track listing is in a giant circle, but Fire Blossom, which is basically an intro to Rainmaker, are both really good. Track 3, Garden of Stones, is good. And then track 7, We're Not God, is good. And track 8, Salt in My Wounds, is good. Like I said, lyrically and vocal-wise, it's not as good as their later stuff, but musically it starts getting a lot better. But then, this album number 4, Beyond Daylight, this comes after Far From Grace, which I thought was a great album. Not a bad track on that. And every other album past that, including this one, I would agree with that statement. This album does not have a bad song on it. This is such a good CD. I like every song on here. Nightwalker, Cold Wind, Scarlet Flower Fields, which is a really good ballad. The Healing Tree, End of All Days, which is really good. Free the Fire, Can You Hear Me, Phoenix, or Can You Hear Me, Then Phoenix. And then the epic 10, almost 11-minute track closer, Beyond Daylight. And then this last song, Point of No Return, is a cover of Kansas. I have that album too, so it was pretty funny to hear that. They did their own spin on it, which is really good. Really great album. These guys are really good progressive metal. I would suggest checking anything past album number 3 from them for sure. At least up until Seraphic Clockworks. I haven't heard anything newer than that, so really good. Really cool. Glad to have more of these guys. I'm only missing a couple of their albums now. I'll definitely try to get those as soon as possible. Alright, that is all of the CDs. We're going to move on to video game stuff. We do have some games, but first we're going to start off with some Amiibo. 2 new Amiibos came out this month, and I pre-ordered them because of what they were. First up, we have Richter. I had Simon had to get Richter, plus he's kind of an inside joke between me and some of my friends. We call him the Beast. I don't really understand it completely. It's more of my friend's thing, but I just think it's funny. Really, really cool to have him. I like Richter. I just like his look a lot. He's really cool, and plus he looks all right too. And then the main one I pre-ordered, more for Crystal than me, because she's big on Metroid. I pre-ordered Dark Samus.
Yeah.
And it's actually really, really detailed. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but they detailed it really nice, actually. And it looks really, really good. Yeah, I like this a lot. That's a really nice looking
like
one.
the details on it. Like, it's supposed to look, like, scaly and veiny, I guess is the best way to say.
Yeah, it's really, really cool to have this. This is the last... the only other Smash Brothers amiibos that are left, if I remember right, are the DLC ones. There are actually more amiibo. This was more of a surprise pickup. I went to get a late Christmas present for my brother and sister, and I didn't think I'd ever find this, considering what it was, because of how crazy it was coming out.
How specific?
Yeah, and we'll explain that when I put it down, but it's actually... I can't believe I found the Shovel Knight amiibo 3-pack with Spectre Knight, Plague Knight, and King Knight. But, like, the story behind this is, if I remember right, this was pre-orderable back when, like, the original Shovel Knight amiibo came out, way back in, like, 2015 or whatever it was. And it just...
Yeah, you could...
It just came out right when the Gold Shovel Knight amiibo I got came out. I didn't even know about this. Had I known about it, I would have bought it.
I completely forgot about it.
But it's... I found it at a GameStop. I didn't think I'd find it. I didn't think they'd have it out anywhere. And they're like, yeah, we got a couple extra. There were 2. So I'm glad I grabbed it because, yeah, got to get the Shovel Knight stuff for her.
Yeah, there's Spectre Knight, Plague Knight,
I really like
King Knight. Plague Knight's one of my favorite
I
knights.
really like the design. I've always been into like Plague Masks and Plague Doctor things.
His freaking boss fight's really fun though, because he throws like potions and
Oh
stuff.
yeah, I can see that. Is that what that is right there?
Yeah.
Yeah. King Knight looks weird because of how yellow he is.
Well,
I know
the thing
he's...
is, his armor's supposed to be made out of gold, but
I don't know why they didn't just spray paint him like they did other gold ones, just like spray paint it. But maybe that's money. I don't know. But yeah, this is probably one of the cooler ones we have because of I don't know how obscure it honestly is. I wouldn't say obscure, but I haven't...
hard to get.
Yeah, I feel like it's hard to get. I don't know. I could be wrong. Just the way I was reading, or what I was reading, it sounded like it was a little bit harder to get. So that's really, really cool to have. Glad to have these for sure. That was a really cool amiibo pickup. Glad to have that. Okay, moving on. Well, actually, I got a guide, a strategy guide. I got this for free from our retro game store. One of these days, maybe I'll do a video around there because I'm pretty chill with everybody there and I don't think they'd care. But it's actually the guide to X-Men Legends. I have this game, I've played it a few times. I don't know if I've ever beaten it, so it's kind of cool to have the strategy guide to be able to get like secret stuff and whatnot. Really, really cool. Just nice little strategy guide that I got for free. Alright, one last thing before we go on to the actual new games. I actually had something happen with some of my games earlier this month. Turns out I had my games in front of a heater that automatically turns on when it gets too cold, that I didn't know about, and it won't turn off, so I'm basically paying electricity for something I don't want to run anyway. And it actually ended up warping, or it basically didn't warp, it damaged some cases of my games. So I like replaced some cases for just some cheaper games, one more expensive one. But I went to play this game actually here. It's ESPN NFL Football for the PS2. This is the replacement case, by the way. And I tried to play the disc and it wouldn't play. So I took it out and I noticed, I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this on camera, but it is, yeah, that's probably the best angle I can give you guys. That's how warped the disc is. So it will not play anymore. So unfortunately, thankfully that was the only game that was damaged. I tried all the other games out and they work just fine. Budokai Tenkaichi 3 was the other one. I would have been very angry if that one got damaged because that's not a cheap game. So what I did is I went back to the retro game store and just bought a new copy of the game. So I've now had 3 copies of this game. I had it as a kid, got rid of it, then got the one that's now just done for free. And then I bought this. This was really cheap. Not a big deal, but I still wanted to add it to this video because of how hilarious that story is. Alright, now we move on to actual games. First up, I randomly got a gift card on Steam from a friend of mine during the Lunar sale. Okay. So he gave me a $25 gift card. I still have a little bit left, but I bought a couple games, even though I should have probably saved till the summer sale, but it's whatever. I picked up 2 games. The first game I got was Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition. I literally talked about this game and how I wanted it last video, because I got the first game, Definitive. I already have the HD version of it, but this is the definitive, like, completely redone game. I have played Age of Empires 2 a little bit. It's a really fun game. I still think I prefer Age of Mythology. I have heard they're thinking about doing a definitive edition of that and Age of Empires 3, which I also have. So that'll be pretty cool. Overall, really good RTS game. Really fun. Then the other game I picked up was actually Dishonored 2. That's, I think the first Dishonored was in one of my very first collection updates, actually. But I still haven't played that first one, but I picked this one up because it was cheap, and I've heard it's still pretty good. There's still one Dishonored game I gotta get, Death of the Outsider. But really, really cool to have that as well. I know the games are pretty good. So, that's it for Steam games. We will go on to the actual physical video games now. We'll start off with a couple of handheld games. Both of these were free. First up, I actually picked up Hot Shots Golf Open T for the PSP. That oddly rhymes. I picked this up because Crystal's really into Hot Shots Golf.
Yeah.
And it was the only thing on the shelf that looked mildly interesting. Because we have those couple Hot Shots Golf games for the PS2. I remember playing the very first Hot Shots Golf on a demo disc that I think I still have, actually. But this is a really interesting game to have, and it was free. I'm pretty sure if anybody's going to play it, it's going to be Crystal, though. So,
yeah.
But really, really cool. Then we have a DS game, and this is another one I kind of grabbed specifically for Crystal. It's actually Brain Age 2.
Oh yeah, because we already have Brain Age 1.
Yeah, I got Brain Age 1 for free as well. I saw this one, and I'm like, well, Crystal really wanted the Brain Age game at the time, so maybe she'll like the second one, because it'll help her with memory stuff and whatnot. So, really, really cool to have this. I don't have a lot to say, because it's just kind of like a memory game. It's kind of like, it's math and memory games and stuff.
Yeah, I feel like this would, if they make more Brain Age games, it would be better as like a phone mobile game.
No, a mobile game for sure. Yeah, that makes sense.
But this was like before mobile games were really that big of a deal.
Yeah, this was back in 2007. Yeah, so yeah. Really, really cool though to have Brain Age. Alright, going on to actual console games. We'll start off with a single PS2 game, because for some reason every time we have a collection video there's always a PS2 game. That's what happens when it's like the highest selling console ever. But we actually found this, of all places, at a Goodwill. This one surprised me. This might be the best video game pickup I've gotten at a Goodwill. It's actually We Love Katamari, the second Katamari game. I do not have Katamari Damacy, but I've always wanted to play a Katamari game. I think I've played a demo at one point, because the concept is hilarious. You're basically a prince from space, and you have to roll everything up into a giant ball. It's pretty ridiculous, but really, really, really cool to have this. Finally have a Katamari game, finally. Then we go on to some more modern consoles. We'll have a couple PS4 games. We'll start off with a game I got on clearance at our retro game store. It's actually Monster Hunter World. I've heard really good things about this game when it came out, and I saw that it was on clearance, but I've heard really good things about this. We only have Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate on Wii U.
Monster Hunter Tri?
Oh, Monster Hunter Tri. I don't know.
On Wii U?
Yeah, we have another Monster Hunter game, but I've heard really good things about these, and I've actually wanted to play Monster Hunter for a long time. I remember seeing it in like high school, and I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I really want to get into playing the series. It's just, I don't even know how many games there are now. Like
lot.
7, 8?
Oh, there might be more than that. But really, really cool to have this, especially when I got it for as cheap as I did. Really, really cool. And then our other PS4 game is one I've been wanting to pick up for a long time. I think I might have even had it pre-ordered, but I didn't grab it. I should have gotten it a long time ago because of what it is. It's one of my favorite, honestly, one of my favorite like game series growing up. It's actually the God of War remake, instead of Greek mythology or in Norse mythology now. Yeah.
Wait, how is it a remake if it includes characters that
Or
were in the first
it's a
one?
sequel reboot. It's really weird. it's a sequel, but it's a reboot. I don't really understand how it explains that because I haven't played it. I know how God of War 3 ends, but I don't know exactly the connection to this one. But this is apparently a lot of people. This was Game of the Year for a lot of people when it came out. People are saying this is the best game in the series. Really, really cool to have this. I can't wait to play this. I need to play all the God of Wars again.
Yeah, I bought the
Sagas.
collection.
Yeah, she has that
on PS3.
still in Virginia though, which
Yeah.
has every single God of War game, including the PSP ones on PS3. So once we can get her some of her stuff out here, we'll probably make a video of adding Crystal stuff to the collection. So Crystal's collection stuff of all the games that we're gonna add. Otherwise, the doubles will probably I'll sell my copy, or we'll figure out what we're gonna do because we don't need 2 copies of the same game. Really, really cool to have this. It's been a long time coming for this one. I bought this one full price, but it wasn't that expensive. And then our last game is another game I've been wanting to pick up for a really long time, and I literally mentioned it last video as well. I finally grabbed Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition. This has every character, all of the DLC characters, and I believe a Linkle new character. Yeah. Yep, includes all DLC from the Wii U and 3DS versions, and a new character. I believe Linkle was new. But I loved Hyrule Warriors when I played it on the Wii U. I think I beat the main story, but there's all these extra stories you can do, and plus with all the DLC characters, it's going to add more that I never played. So I really wanted to play this on the Switch, because the one thing I kind of wanted to, I didn't really like was that you had to use the big old tablet controller as a controller, and now I could use my Pro controller, and it'll just be a little bit more comfortable for me. But overall, really, really happy to have this game, because this is actually just a really, really, really fun game to play. And you have all kinds of characters. So
Yeah, because I played at least 3 or 4 hours of it on I played the 3DS version and the Wii U version.
Oh, you played it on 3DS?
Yeah.
Oh.
It does get super repetitive for me.
Okay.
It's kind of just, oh, there's a mission. Oh, you do the same thing. Oh, there's a mission. Oh, you do the same thing.
Well, it's based on Dynasty Warriors.
And I never played Dynasty Warriors, but it's I don't mind repetition. It's just, that's kind of what you do the whole entire game. There's really no, change.
That's fair, but that's kind of what Dynasty Warriors is. I actually watched a video recently basically saying that this game, even though it's not canon because it wasn't made by Nintendo directly, that it's basically the connection between all of the Zelda timelines that make Breath of the Wild possible. Because a lot of people, and it's pretty much a big belief that Breath of the Wild is somehow at the end of every timeline, so all of the timelines have to converge. And basically, there's multiple videos saying this is where all the timelines converge, because you have, every timeline.
Everybody.
You have the timelines all converging due to can't remember her name right now, but I can't remember her name. The villain. So it would make sense, but I don't know. It's until Nintendo comes out, that's obviously not going to be true. But really, really cool to have this game. It's a really great game. And we're increasing the Switch collection, so can't complain too much. But that is it. Really short video in total, shorter than most of my singular, collection videos that would be split up. The reason I did this video so soon and with everything together is because next month I am going to be redoing my video game collection videos, because it's been 3 years, and Crystal's here, so she'll have some stuff to say about a lot of the games. And I feel like just having her input on that would be cool, to have a second person for input. I know it's only been 3 years, but the last videos came out 4 years after, so I just think it would fit to do everything. Plus, I have more games for a lot of consoles, and just the second person input is the big thing. Plus, those videos got me a lot of subs and a lot of views, so I kind of want to treat you guys with that. So that's why this is happening so soon, so I could add the video games to my collection proper and be able to talk about them in the video. Or the videos, sorry. But that being said, that is it for my January 2020 collection update. It will probably be a while before you get another collection update, like I said, you'll get the video game collection videos in between everything because there's a lot. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. We'll see you later.
Bye.